Welcome to the Justin Ng Show, where real entrepreneurs and investors reveal how they turn humble beginnings into high-impact ventures. From bold moves to capital raises, we unpack what it really takes to build and scale greatness. Let's go check it out. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Justin Ng Show. Today's guest, we have Brandon Mills, creative genius and co-founder of Total Promotion Company. He's helped brands grow from idea to impact through marketing and storytelling and unforgettable campaigns. We dive into his entrepreneurial journey, real client wins, and how he built a brand that actually delivers. From mindset to marketing strategy, this episode is straight value. Let's jump into it. Welcome, everybody, to today's show with the Justin Ng podcast. Today, I have Brandon Mills from Total Promotion Company. Thank you so much again for joining us, Brandon.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate you taking your time today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And so usually I start out with tell us a little bit about your journey from humble beginnings to being the head honcho at Total Promotion Company.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a long journey. It's the journey of entrepreneurship started when I was in high school.
Okay.
A friend of mine, we were big computer nerds.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so we did on-site computer repair for individuals and small businesses. So this was when I was, I guess, a junior in high school, and we had a little Nokia phone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and in our car,
Yeah.
and a little tiny computer toolkit.
Nice.
And after school, we would take customers' calls and go to their house, and either if it was like an elderly lady, we'd teach her how to use her computer so she could communicate with her grandkids.
That's amazing.
We'd go to small businesses and set up their networking. It was back when computers were
the big ones.
Yeah, they were. So it was a pretty cool business. We got in the newspaper, and that helped us.
That's amazing.
Us to get some exposure. But then once we graduated, I went to University of Nevada, Reno, and my friend Sean, he went into military academy.
Gotcha.
And so we just dissolved that business.
Okay.
But then, so I went to school. I was gonna do information systems, and then it just was boring to me. And so I ended up doing criminal justice.
Okay.
I didn't end up doing anything with that as a career, but I found it to be a very fascinating subject. There's lots of schools of thought, sociology, psychology, criminology. There was a lot of things that just fascinated me.
Okay.
Once I graduated, though, my plan was to take a backpacking trip through Asia.
Wow. Okay.
I got a one-way ticket to Moscow, and I did the Trans-Siberian Railway all the way by train, all the way through Russia, through Mongolia, through China, Hong Kong, and then I ended up in Thailand, and I ended up staying in Thailand for about 4 years.
Wow.
And that's where I had my next business. I had a speedboat charter business on one of their islands.
Wow, that's impressive. That's different.
I know, yeah. No, we would take people out snorkeling and fishing, and I had a good relationship with some of the resorts that were on the island, and so they would push customers, their guests, they would sell the tours, and we would take people out on the boat.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Once my wife at the time got pregnant and we had our first son, it kind of gave me a mindset shift. And I wanted to be able to provide the most amount of opportunities for my son, and I thought that living on a touristy tropical island in Thailand was going to limit his opportunities later in life. So I thought, okay, let's move back to the U.S. And this was around 2009.
Okay.
And I came back to Las Vegas, but there was no jobs anywhere. It was weird. The 2008 financial crisis had just happened. And I thought, well, now I've got this really young family. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. So I joined the Army.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it was something I kind of always wanted to do, and the opportunity was just never there. But now it was kind of the perfect time for me to kind of explore that side. So I went into the Army. I went in as a tanker, and yeah. Okay. So the tanks. Yeah. And from basic training, I got my orders and they sent me to Korea. And so I ended up in Korea for about 3 years. I went command sponsorship, which means that I got to bring my family with me.
Okay.
And while there, I had my second child. And my daughter was born in Korea.
Wow.
Um, got orders to go back to the U.S. Ended up at Fort Hood, Texas, and that's where I decided I was gonna get out. I felt like the military was kind of holding me back. The pay's not great. It's long hours, and
Mm-hmm.
you have no control over your own life. So I got out of the army. I got my CDL, my commercial driver's
Yep.
license,
Mm-hmm.
and I drove over the road for about 5 months. And it was, I mean, I enjoyed the work, but it was really long hours away from home, and I
Yeah.
wasn't making very much money. And I thought, well, there's got to be something else. But with my CDL, I was able to get a job in the oil industry.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the soldiers that I served with in Korea had a connection, and he was working at this great company. It was called Pioneer Natural Resources, and so I got in, and that was more money than I've ever made in my life.
Oh wow.
And
Really?
I got really good at it, and I ended up in that industry for about 6 years.
Wow. Okay.
Uh, but at the same time, it was long hours, and it was time away from home. I worked 2 weeks on, 1 week off. Uh,
Oh, okay. I know that
yeah,
kind of job. Yeah.
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 That company ended up selling our department to another company, and so our equipment and us went to this new company. And the new company, the employees of it was Pro Petro at the time. I don't know if they're still around.
Okay.
They wanted to figure out any way to get rid of the guys that came with the
From the
equipment.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're I was constantly under scrutiny. I
Yeah.
was I was operating equipment. I got well control certified, which is kind of somewhat of like an engineering certificate.
Okay.
And they just couldn't figure out a way to get rid of me because I was really good at my
Mm-hmm.
job.
Yeah.
But when the price of oil went down, the opportunity came to lay me off, and so they laid me off. But with that contract, the retention bonus, they had to pay me out the rest of the year,
Okay.
and so now I had a lot of money in the bank.
Ah.
Went closer to home. Got another job that was in the same industry, same job really, just with this other company, but the pay was a lot less and the work was a lot more. I had to
Mm-hmm.
work 3 weeks on, 1 week off,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and I thought, man, this is
It's
this is not this isn't great.
yeah. It's
I realized that I cherished my freedom more than I cherished the money,
mm-hmm.
and I was going through some difficulty with in my marriage at the time. I thought, what, I've got to change this up. So I thought, let me just stop what I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
here. And I came back to Southern Nevada. I had money in the bank. I was just now starting to figure out what I wanted to do. I had businesses in the past, both of which we had formed from nothing. I
Yes.
thought, I don't want to form a new business. I want to see what's available. And so I found Total Promotion Company.
Okay.
It was an older gentleman and his wife and one employee. Uh, so there's three of them there. Old equipment. They didn't have a website. Everything was run on QuickBooks Desktop. It was just kind of an old business. He was
Yeah.
an older gentleman,
Okay.
but he hadn't adapted to
To the
to
tech.
the technology.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what? I think I could probably do something with this. And so I shadowed him for about 2 months. Learned the industry and at the end of that 2 months, December of 2019, purchased the business. Got
Oh,
a
okay.
really good deal on it. It was sold for a really low price, and and thought, okay, let's get into this. So we started, uh, just kind of keeping the business going the way it
Mm-hmm.
was, trying to see where we could figure out how to implement some new technology, some new software, some new systems and processes. Uh, and then 2.5 months later, lockdowns happened
Oh, for COVID.
for
Oh,
COVID.
okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was very difficult. It was all the orders stopped. People didn't even bother to come pick up their stuff that was completed.
Oh wow.
Businesses were going out. It was, and I didn't qualify for any of the PPP loans and the things like that because I hadn't had my business for more than 6 months.
I see.
Not
Okay.
that I would have known that
Yeah.
the government was going to go crazy and
Yeah.
lock everybody in their homes and shut down businesses.
Yeah.
Uh, So during that time, we did what we could. I had a Jeep that I had from the oil industry,
Okay.
and so I just went out and played with different Jeep groups,
Oh,
and
nice.
through that I learned networking, and business started happening. Owners of other companies, executives, they were out playing as well, and we got to know each other,
Yeah.
build a connection, and business started to pick up. And then another thing that helped to save the business was the realization that there's winners and losers of every economy. And in the COVID lockdown economy, the winners were the essential businesses, the
Mm-hmm.
plumbers,
Yeah.
electricians, and so we had a lot of customers that were doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, we were just trying to work with the winners,
Yeah.
and so we were able to kind of keep the company alive. Uh, And then about 3 years ago, we ended up moving to a new location and getting some new equipment. Direct to film printing, we were the first ones to bring that technology to Nevada, and that has been a game changer for us. It's not an easy technology to use. We spent a good year figuring
To
it
figure
out.
out, yeah.
We went through 13 print heads in the first year, and each print head is $1,500. And so, it felt like we weren't working for money; we were working for parts. Yeah, it
Okay.
was. But once we figured out the issues within that, and in this case, it ended up being the inks. The We were able to be, really kind of take the market in Las Vegas for this new technology. And what this technology does is it allows us to do full color prints, at any quantity. So we can do print on demand even.
Oh, wow.
So we can
Okay.
make one shirt with full color, and it's a digital process. Whereas
Wow.
before we were doing screen printing, each color has to have its own screen. There's a setup
Oh,
cost,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and it
yeah,
takes
yeah.
and in order for it to be profitable, you have to have a lot,
Mhm.
a big order.
Yeah.
Well, now we can have the small orders and be profitable,
Mm-hmm.
and so this has been kind of a key to our success. And then because we're the first and the best, we started wholesaling to our competitors.
Wholesaling to competitors. Okay.
Yeah, so now they're our clients. So now I
Interesting.
feel like I don't have competitors either. It's yeah, and it's been a fantastic journey. There's always ups and downs,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and you're always trying new things and
Right, right.
seeing what works, always trying to scale the business. Just most recently in the last 6 months, I tried to figure out digital marketing, and it didn't work out well for me.
Okay.
And so yeah, but we're crawling out of that hole right now, and we've come a really long way.
That's
It's
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
That's truly profound though. So like you mentioned like you had a lot of biggest challenges that you mentioned and
Sure.
and you had a lot of aha moments, right? When you went through like in Thailand,
Hmm.
in the military, in the oil industry.
And it's a very vast range of experiences.
Yeah.
It seems to be that every 5 years I get bored and I want to try something new.
Okay.
But at least with business, I can try new things. Like right now, I'm exploring. Well, actually, I've started it, and I can't give away too much right now
That's fine.
because,
No
but
worries.
but it's a tech startup in the education space,
Okay.
uh, and it's a software platform to be able to facilitate creating a marketplace for education for educators and students. and
Okay.
but and we'll have to do another podcast once I have more information that
Definitely,
I can
yeah,
share.
definitely. We'd love to have you again. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
And so if you will go, so basically you took over, you went and acquired a business.
hmm
So how did you acquire the knack to know that, hey, this business is still not coming along? How did you get the wherewithal to be able to say, hey, come, let me train, let me, eventually
yeah,
acquire from you and see where, and the business owner was also open to for you to come in and take over.
yeah. So the business owner
Mm.
was looking to sell.
Okay,
He was an older gentleman with some medical issues,
okay.
and so he was looking to retire. And that's another thing that's very interesting about this time in our lives right now is that the boomer generation,
Mm-hmm.
they're exiting the marketplace.
Right, right.
They're looking to retire. They're passing on, and it's an opportunity for people to come in especially people that have a good grasp on technology. It's a great opportunity for them to come in, acquire a business, implement new ideas,
Mm-hmm.
new strategies, new systems, new
Mm-hmm.
processes,
Yep.
and take a business that has been around for a long time
Just elevate
and
it.
scale it.
Yeah. Scale. Yeah.
The previous owner, he just didn't have the technological knowledge to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
As we get older,
Yeah.
I'm sure the same thing will happen to
Exactly.
us,
Yep. Exactly.
and our kids and grandkids
They'll
will
be
be,
like,
the stuff they're doing on computers now is, way
mm,
beyond what I was doing, at that age.
mm-hmm.
But
Exactly.
during that time, it was, so
Mm-hmm.
technologically advanced.
Yeah. And in Total Promotion Company, are you thinking about rolling it up and getting others, like maybe you say you wholesale right now?
Yeah.
Do you think that you eventually just roll it up and just
There's a few different ways, and I feel like I'm kind of at a crossroads with it right now.
okay.
I do kind of have a 5-year exit strategy. My daughter is going into 8th grade right now, so in
Mm-hmm.
5 years from now, she'll be graduated from high school.
Okay.
And I want to see, what other opportunities at that point, because now I don't want to change. I don't want to move and change schools for them. But once she's out of high school, there's really nothing keeping me in here. I've had the thought of moving back to Thailand. My
Okay.
my kids are half Thai,
Yeah.
so they can own property.
Yeah.
And in Thailand, uh, the only nationality outside of Thai that can own a or excuse me, not a property, a business 100% is Americans, because
Really?
of a treaty that happened back in the 70s.
Wow, that's cool. I
Yes,
didn't know that.
and the cost of living is so much
So
lower,
yeah.
and so you can have a much greater lifestyle in a place, and it's a Buddhist culture there too. It's they're so friendly. the,
Yeah.
the the people are amazing. The food's incredible.
Indeed. Yeah.
The nature, the beaches, the mountains, even,
Mm-hmm.
up in
Yeah.
the northwest side.
Right.
It's a beautiful, beautiful country, and I have absolutely fallen in love with it.
That's amazing. Yeah.
And so I perhaps move there part time, or I've also had the idea of doing what I'm doing here, but over there, and supplying the company here with basically, and supplying the world internationally with branded products.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's there's a lot of ideas kind of floating around
Mm-hmm.
in my head. I've got 5 years to figure it out,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and in 5 years a lot can happen.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we'll see, the best course of action during that time, and I'm not really sure what that's going to look like and
Mm-hmm.
where that ends up. But I do have some very forward thinking plans about what I want to do
Okay.
and kind of where I want to be. And even if it's kind of like a half retirement, I don't know if I could ever retire. I'd get
Yeah,
bored,
because
but
you. Yeah.
at least just having a more laid back lifestyle, and without all the stress.
Yeah,
And
indeed, for sure.
yeah.
And it's so funny. Like I'm originally from Malaysia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I haven't been to Thailand before.
Oh, really? I've been to
It's
Malaysia a bunch of times.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
just next door, and I haven't been there.
yeah,
Like
yeah. No,
doesn't make
Malaysia
sense.
is another beautiful country too.
Yeah,
The
they're
food's
both.
amazing.
It's
Yeah,
almost the same, Thailand,
sure.
except for the Buddhist culture.
Yeah,
Everything's different
yeah.
there, but everything else is almost very similar. So that's
Very
so
much.
funny. Like and going back for you say your mindset, like your vision. It sounds as though you're like a visionary. Like, were you always a visionary, or did you develop that mindset, that whole
I
culture?
I think I've always kind of been a visionary, and I've always kind of had the entrepreneur spirit. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, I had a business in high school,
Yeah.
and it was it was kind of a big deal because there wasn't a lot of students in high school that had businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And I much preferred, having control over my own destiny.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's it, but I've also worked for people,
Yeah,
I made more money in the oil industry working for somebody, but it wasn't the money wasn't the
motivator.
motivator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I realize now that for me, freedom is the motivator.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Being
Yeah.
able to, the shop is running without me, and I
Mm-hmm.
can come here and do these podcasts.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
building systems and processes and setting it up to where, it runs independent of me is my goal. And if there's a problem with the system,
Mm-hmm.
I have to fix the system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's and all the risk is on me as well.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very fragile. Anything could happen, and you
Yeah.
could mess up. Like during lockdowns, I ended up running for state senate in Nevada.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You can look me up on Ballotpedia. But I ran as a libertarian.
Okay.
And I used it as a platform to try to explain to the politicians and to the constituents and to everybody what lockdowns is, how lockdowns is affecting, small businesses. It was completely wrong of the government to shut down small businesses while allowing the large businesses
Yeah.
to thrive. A furniture, small business, that owns a furniture store, they're not allowed to open, but then they can see somebody coming out of Walmart with a sofa.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was completely immoral. We can't allow that to ever happen again.
Hmm.
And I wasn't going to let them shut me down. It's coming out of the military, an Army veteran, has a business, and now I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
operate.
Exactly.
Sisolak of the time, who was the Nevada governor,
Yeah. At that
he
time.
he put out a statement, or I guess it was a memorandum. I'm not sure what he put out. It was, but he was saying, his list of essential businesses and supply chain logistics for hospitals and police departments was one of the essential businesses. And because we supplied hospitals and we supplied police departments, uh, I was able to continue to operate.
Nice.
I
Okay.
When they came in to check, because I was checked twice by government officials
Oh
that
wow.
that we were essential. I don't know if people called on us or if they're just driving around, but I didn't tell them that we were making like stress balls and keychains.
Yeah.
It didn't say that the supply chain logistics for syringes and medicine. It just said supply chain logistics. So we were able to stay open. We were able to operate. Had I not had that, we would have gone out of business right away. I would have lost everything. Everything that I built up over that
Oh
time.
wow. That's crazy.
And so you realize how fragile everything is.
Yeah.
Uh, Most recently, the tariffs.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
How is that affecting you?
it was brutal. It's not as bad now,
Okay.
but initially, our supply costs went way up.
Yeah.
The supply costs on a lot of our customers went way up as well. So supply costs went up and demand went down, and now I'm worried about losing the business again. Oh man, our biggest problems are always the government. Every time,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
all the other problems I can figure out, but I can't figure out how to get past, these government mandates
Hmm.
where, they destroy small business, all while saying that they're pro business.
Hmm. Yeah. That's so. How so right now? Like, how are you navigating that then? That challenge right now?
There's it right now. I mean, a lot of customers they just have to pay more.
Okay.
And their understanding of it, they know that I'm not trying to gouge them.
Hmm.
It's I'm losing money and they're losing money. In
Yeah.
these things. A lot of the tariffs have changed. We found different suppliers from different countries.
Okay.
Um, we try to produce what we can in house,
Hmm.
and what we don't produce, we have vendors for. And so we have local vendors, we have regional, national, and international vendors. So if you come to me, you know, and say, "Hey, I need something by next Tuesday," well, and it's not something that we produce at our shop.
Yeah.
We have to find a place to get that for you.
I see. I see. Okay.
But if you come to me a month early, well, now that your price is going to be a lot lower because I can find a better price
Right.
from a
Exactly.
vendor overseas.
Hmm.
And so it's just kind of explaining and teaching the customer, to try to be proactive with
Yeah.
their events, with their things. Be like, hey, come to us earlier. We can get you better pricing.
Hmm.
Uh, but it
It's the nature of business.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is the nature of the
Yeah.
business, and some customers, it doesn't matter what you tell them. They don't think about an idea until right before their event,
Hmm.
and they need something. So we
Wow.
make
That's
it happen.
that's crazy. So, and yeah, just to hear the challenges you have to go through, and all the pivots you have to go through as well. And what was the thing at the company that started like propelling you guys? What was the customer? Who was like not who, but like what was that main thing that was able to propel you guys?
I'd say there's probably three different things that were major pivot points. One was finding the right employees, when I started hiring,
Okay.
because I was doing a lot of the things
Yeah.
in the business. I was working in the business, and hiring somebody to be able to take that off of me,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to be able to work on the business.
Mm-hmm.
And so once that happened, I started working on the business, and I came across the next thing, which was finding the right software, like a shop management software that allowed us to be able to create a workflow of, invoice quotes to invoice, to production, to post production and shipping,
Okay.
and this whole workflow uh, allowed us to be able to bring on more work. And after that, we thought, okay, now we've got this set up. Now we got to figure out how to get more work. Uh, it was very difficult for us to compete locally in the screen printing world. We were on manual presses, and we just couldn't. We couldn't compete with the prices of some of the bigger shops with automatic presses.
Okay.
And I thought, there's this new technology called direct to film. Uh, let's do this,
Okay.
and so again took the risk, and
Yeah.
and like I said, it wasn't easy. That first year was very difficult learning, especially when
Yeah.
you're,
The learning curve. Yeah.
yeah, and when you're adopting new technology, there's problems. We've changed
Right.
every
Yeah.
part on that first printer. We changed every single part.
Wow.
And but now we know we're our own techs on our equipment, and it's very difficult for anybody else to come into that space. There's a lot of our clients that buy prints from us. They thought, oh, we make it look easy, so they
Yeah.
buy a printer, and they can't make them work.
And
So
then now they come to you to
they
help them.
come to us,
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
and they've offered to sell us their printers, which if we had more space, we would buy.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we continue to sell them the prints because they realize that it is really difficult, to that learning curve is kind of prohibitive, of for our competitors or would be competitors to be able to produce these prints, and we produce them at such a high quality.
Mm-hmm.
We're leading the industry nationally.
Wow.
I'm on different podcasts and things, on for national on the national stage.
That's amazing.
So yeah, we're doing really well with it, and that's one piece of our business. Some other pieces of our business is embroidery and laser engraving, but these are technologies that have been around for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not hard to get into. But it's very difficult to get into the digital print for fabrics stage.
Gotcha. Wow. That's really profound then. And if you were to go back and change one thing,
Mm.
what was that? What would that be in the company?
You know,
After
I
knowing all the things you know right now.
Yeah, I probably would have tried to have done that sooner.
The digital printing? Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but even then, it was so early that it didn't matter. I don't know if I would change anything because each time you learn something, and you apply that knowledge, to what you do next.
Mm-hmm.
I like to tell people that I look at business as a giant science experiment.
Okay.
You have a hypothesis,
Yeah.
and you test the hypothesis,
Yes.
and when it doesn't work, you go back and you make a change
Mm-hmm.
and try it
Try it
again,
again. Yeah.
and 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 then I also tell people that I don't do things right very often.
Okay. Yeah.
But when I do, I like to
Yeah.
repeat it. I like to
Right.
repeat it. So everything that we're doing now is things that we've done right,
Mm-hmm.
and we abandon the things that we do wrong. And because of that, we've got a fairly good business, and I'm trying to make myself the least important person in my business.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I love the fact that my employees, they come in, they know what to do. We have the best team, and it's incredible. We're making incredible products for our customers.
Mm-hmm.
We've built a great reputation,
Yeah.
and the biggest driver of business for us is word of mouth. People say, "Oh, where did you get that?"
Yeah.
And they send them right to us, and it's fantastic. So my role in the business now, I mean, I'm still working on the business, figuring out ways to improve, trying new
Yeah.
things. Uh, but as you grow, it gets a little more difficult, and the cost gets a lot
Uh-huh.
higher.
Yeah.
Um, but my role is business development. I go out and go hang out at different networking groups
Yeah.
and events. I bought a nice car recently, and so
Yeah,
now I'm part of I'm part of some exotic car clubs,
that's
and
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
opened up doors and opportunities for
Yeah.
me as well. And I'm going to help them grow.
Yeah.
It's I've discovered that by helping others and just being your genuine self and always putting one foot in front of the other towards growth is has been the way to do it, and that's kind of it's kind of the way that I want to continue with everything that I do.
That's amazing. Yeah. And what will you give and what will you advise other people that's new in the industry and they would like to come in to doing what you're
Hmm.
doing? Like what advice will you give them and how where do they can start and
Yeah, well, we've helped a lot of people start
Okay.
in this industry. Like we're able to sell them the prints, and they get a heat press, and they can start selling shirts real small. Uh, you know, go to your whatever your niche is, whatever your interests are. Uh, that's you speak their language. And so like I say, I'm a part of a car club.
Yeah.
But if you're part of a church, you know, within that church, you're going to have members of that church that have their kids on a sports team. There's business owners within that community, and if you're able to help people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be apparel. It doesn't have to be promotional products. It could be anything.
Hmm.
If you're good at if you're good at marketing, if you're good, if you create websites, there's a need in the community for these things,
Right.
and people do business with people they know and
They're
they
knowing
like
and
and they
trusting.
trust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and so so if they don't know who you are, why are they going to do business with you?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you have to put yourself out there. So I'd say advice to anybody getting started is put yourself out there, make yourself known, come on podcasts,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and just and continue. And sometimes it feels like it's not working. Sometimes you're like, oh man, this isn't happening. But then
Yeah.
sometimes it happens all and like it's crazy, the growth all at once. You're like,
Hmm.
man, oh my gosh, this is working.
Right.
So
Yeah. And speaking of growing and then the growth, like how were you able to manage it? Because you mentioned that you hired more employees to be able to manage it.
mhm.
Was there any other things that you had to do in order for you to manage that
uh
made some growth?
yeah, so we moved to our new location. That was a big step too. We have a more
Hmm.
centralized location.
Hmm.
It's a better shop for workflow, and it's that has been a big thing to help us grow. So location was a good one. When I first took over the business, we were in a really bad location,
Mm,
right next to a chop shop, in a bad area of town.
okay.
When people came to pick up, it was dirty, and it just didn't have it didn't scream quality.
Gotcha. Okay.
Even though we were making quality things out of there,
Hmm.
it just the higher quality clients,
Yeah.
they didn't expect to have quality products coming out of this kind of shop. When we moved to our new shop, it was much nicer, much cleaner, beautiful area of town,
Hmm.
and we got a really good deal on it. So that has helped, and then the new technology has helped. Systems and processes are crucial.
Hmm. Yeah.
If you don't have a system, it's chaotic. Uh, you know, and they're not easy. It's not
Right.
easy to create a new system and a new process, especially when you have more employees. You have to get everybody on board, and you
Hmm.
have to train them, and then it also might not work. So
Yeah.
the amount of time and energy and money that you put into a new system, it might not work. So you might have to
Wow.
go back and tweak it. Like I said, the science experiment.
Yeah.
Go back and change
Yeah.
it
Uh-huh.
until it does work.
Yeah.
And it's working on an engine.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Okay, this is I got to play with this carburetor a little
yeah.
bit. Until it's breathing right.
That's amazing. Okay, so that's the thing, like a trial and error, and just make sure everything goes smoothly. And so right now, you already established your business. Is there anything you're doing outside right now? Like, you told me you're building the new platform about like building and growing your wealth. Like,
Hmm.
and are you diversifying? Like, I know for your kids, you're thinking about in 5 maybe go back to Thailand.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing right now at the moment, like investing or diversifying?
So I'm very cautious when it comes to like investing where other people are controlling that money.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reason why I invested in the business, was because I wanted to control it.
Yes.
If I mess it up, at least it's my fault,
Mm-hmm.
But if you give money to somebody and they're promising you to give money back, I feel like that's even a higher risk. I think that the stock markets are overvalued right now. The housing market, there's so much inventory and it's out of reach. I think there's a lot of corrections going to happen. I do think the economy is going to correct itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very cautious about investing in those types of things. I do have a little bit of silver and gold,
Oh, okay.
yeah, but that's just like a long-term hold.
Yeah.
You don't think about it,
Yes,
you know,
exactly. Just buy and hold. Yeah.
right. But when it comes to like when, because I went through a divorce,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
when I left Texas, and so I had to liquidate my 401k.
Oh, wow.
It all had to be split,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I don't own stocks anymore. But there is value in the business that I'm creating, and at some point, selling that or selling equity in it, or there's a lot of different ways that
Interesting. Okay.
so that's kind of my retirement,
Yeah.
is the business.
Okay.
And I figure, if I create some more businesses and create value for that, it's creating value for others, and creating value for others, there's a way to
That's
kind of.
interesting. Yeah. Have you thought about maybe, since Total Promotion Company is your first business acquisition, are you thinking of acquiring other businesses as well? Have you thought about that?
I've looked
Okay.
into it. There's a possible merger that we're looking into, but
Hmm.
it's early stages. We have
Yeah.
to look at all the numbers and make sure everything is, makes sense. Uh, and there's there's always, I don't I don't discount any options. I
Mm-hmm.
like to look at them and
Yeah.
see if it makes sense. And if it makes sense, we try it.
Yeah.
Uh, but acquiring a business is a big risk,
Yeah.
like, especially, like, I didn't know anything about the apparel and promotional product
Yeah.
industry when I did it,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew enough about business, and I knew that, if I had a good team, that we would be okay.
Right. Exactly. And here where you are right now. That's
Yeah.
amazing. And so you're you're starting the education platform from scratch. Um, Are you thinking, like, you remember how you bought the company at first? Are you thinking of this, you eventually just selling it as well,
Possibly.
in the future
Yeah,
for your retirement, like you mentioned?
I would say so. It depends on how it cash flows.
Okay.
If it's cash flowing and it doesn't require a lot of effort from me, and I can relax,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like I've mitigated enough risk. The risk is the difficult part.
Yeah, the managing.
The uncertainty.
Right.
And so trying to build some more certainty, into my life. But it's the freedom that I seek. So,
Right. So
and
that's
with more money, you can have some more freedom.
right.
But but I can live pretty frugal. I can live
Yeah.
pretty humble. I prefer to have more. I prefer to have luxuries and things. But if I don't have that, that's okay.
Okay.
But I definitely want to continue to grow the value and the wealth of what I do have.
That's amazing. Yeah. So it sounds as though you're still in the growth phase for your company. And
Sure.
when I think I forgot to ask, like, when you acquired it, did you go through the traditional ways of acquiring, or did you go through like seller financing?
No, it was, no. So I bought it outright.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a loan.
No. So, no, it was such a low cost.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was five figures.
Damn.
Uh,
Okay. So you're in.
High five figures, but
Okay.
but now, the value. We just did a valuation on the business recently, and the value of the business now is so far beyond what I bought it for.
Oh wow.
So
That's amazing. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm pretty happy with what we've done with it.
Okay.
Uh, and but like I said, it's super fragile. Like this Q1, we had some cash flow issues. Q1, we always lose money. It's just after the holidays, the business slows down.
Gotcha.
I've got
Okay.
5 years of data to see that, the pattern of when we've picked up now. We're crawling out of that
Mm-hmm.
hole. I did a whole lot of spending on digital marketing that just didn't work. And had I not done that, we wouldn't be in a difficult
yeah.
situation, but I had to try it.
So the digital marketing, is it something where you hired someone to do like marketing for like in social media and
Yeah, I hired somebody that claimed to have a good track record, somebody I knew for a while, and it just didn't work the way I was hoping.
Mhm.
And so we were spending a lot of money trying to solve that. I ended up letting that company go. I do have a virtual assistant now in the Philippines
Oh,
that
okay,
is
yeah.
that is doing a lot of my social media stuff now, but the marketing spend, like I'm not buying ads anymore. I might again at some point, but we'll probably do it differently.
Mhm.
I have to revisit that because I don't want to do it the same way we did it this last
Right,
time.
right, yeah.
Uh, but we've got to build it back up the way that I've done it in the past. So
Okay.
like right now, like as business development, I go out and
Yeah.
just meet people, and business happens. And so that's what I'm doing again right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's how we met. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We,
sure.
like,
Yeah,
and I've met you in a few of the events. It's easy to know you because you have the beard.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's so easy because it's almost like a. I guess you can use it as one of your marketing, right? Your image,
It's
like
a, it's
that.
a distinguishing feature,
Hmm.
and a lot of people remember the beard. I
Yeah,
never intended the beard to get this big, but it worked, and my wife loves it, and
yeah.
yeah, it works out. It works
It's
out
kind
good.
of like almost your branding right now, right?
Right,
So,
right.
but I guess like for marketing, if it wasn't broken, why fix it, right? So you
Yeah,
already have something like. It sounds like you guys do a lot of word of mouth, like
I would like to figure out.
referrals.
Yeah, I would like to figure out the digital marketing puzzle,
Hmm.
so that I can free up my time, so I
Yes.
don't have to go out as much.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just to free up my time even more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I said, freedom is
Hmm.
important to me,
Right.
and to be able to do what I want when I want with
Hmm.
who I want
Yeah.
is an important thing. And I feel like I've built that with my shop. My team is great, and they're able to handle everything.
Hmm.
Uh, People will contact me and say, "Hey, can I get a quote?" Or they start asking me questions. I say,
Reach out
"My
to my
my
team.
staff, talk to my team because
Yeah.
they're going to be able to help you better than I can."
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
And you started from a solo, and now like how big is your team right now?
I think we're at 7 right now. We were at 10 at one point, um, and I don't know because we just hired a few more. So I think we're at 7 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a small team. We're lean, which is great. You know,
Hmm.
um, and we've got seven employees in the shop, and then I've got fractional. I got a fractional CFO.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I've got virtual assistants. So there's
Yeah.
other people working for the business, but just not physically at the business. There's 7 people physically at the shop, doing production and invoices and things like that.
Okay. And the fractional CFO, are they local in
Yeah,
Vegas? Okay,
yeah,
nice. That is
yeah.
amazing. I learned about that term fractional CFO
Hmm.
maybe the last year or so. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know you can do that
Yeah,
fractional.
it's nice because it helps you to have a better understanding of your numbers.
Hmm.
I feel confident that everything in my business is exactly as it should be.
Hmm.
And I can see where we're spending. We can am I over budget, below budget, uh, and then we can change how we want to spend based on what's working and what's not.
That's amazing. Yeah. And did you have any mentors growing up and that will help you and develop you to where how you are right now?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of mentors in a lot of different capacities. You know, when I was young, my dad, he was in marketing,
Oh,
and
okay.
so and he had his own business for a while, and then he sold that business and ended up taking on a corporate position,
Mm,
made a lot more money, but with more money for a corporation, you have a lot more stress as well.
okay. Yeah.
I've had mentors in the military. I've had mentors, everywhere I go. Is that saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. I heard
So
it.
I
Yeah.
try, I try to surround myself with people that are at the level that I'm trying to get at next. And that's part of too why I bought this really nice
Right.
car,
So because you want to be part of
because
that
I want to
group.
be part
Yeah.
of people that are successful. They say that if you're around 4 idiots,
You'll be the
you'll
fifth
be the
idiot.
fifth idiot.
Yeah.
I want to surround myself with I might be an idiot, but I want to surround myself around
Hmm.
smart people,
Yeah.
and then that way I'll become
You become the fifth
right,
person. The
right.
fifth. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah. And So I guess, you say your dad had his own business, so it
Hmm.
sounds like you got that entrepreneurship from him as well growing
Yeah, and
up. You got to see it.
he's always been so supportive of everything that I've done,
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
and so and he knows too that when you try things out, you learn.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned more in doing, than I have from any book, or any class.
Right. It's
When you
like,
have
yeah,
lived experience,
right.
it's
It's
definitely
so
more impactful.
valuable. Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like failing forward,
Yes.
picking
Yeah.
yourself up every time you fall. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
failing forward. So that's truly amazing. So like, how can people reach out to you, or what value can they
Sure.
bring to you, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
to to help you grow, to help you
Hmm.
grow your business?
So my our website is www.totalpromotioncompany.com.
Mm-hmm.
My email is brandon@totalpromotioncompany.com. But if you're needing a quote or something, contact sales@totalpromotioncompany.com. If you
Okay.
contact me, I'm just going to direct you over there.
Um,
Our office phone is 702-823-5660.
okay.
And I'd say about 80% of our clients are local.
Okay.
It just makes it a lot easier
Mm-hmm.
because the shipping costs and time.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. People prefer to do local pickups.
Yes.
We get something done and they just swing by the shop
Mm-hmm.
and pick something up.
Yeah.
It's faster and cheaper than having something shipped. But we also have a lot of regional, national, and a few international
Oh
clients
wow, that's
that
amazing.
they love our what we have, and they're willing to pay for that shipping cost and deal with that extra shipping time
Mm-hmm.
so that they can have our products. They realize that we have high quality and it's consistent.
Yeah.
And and in this industry too, a lot of people, they'll try somewhere and they spend a lot of money and they get something that's just isn't what they expected. And so it's when you find a good company,
Yeah.
you want to stick with them.
For sure. Yeah. And then is there something they can bring to you? Is there a way for them to, the idea that they want, so you just have to describe it in an
Yeah,
email?
going from concept to finished product, it's
Yeah.
it's it's really cool because some people come to us with ideas like, "Hey, is this something that's possible?"
Okay.
Like, "Oh yeah, we can do that. We do that all the time."
Uh-huh.
So yeah, taking somebody's idea and making it a reality for them is very rewarding.
That's amazing. Okay, so if they bring the ideas, to reach out to you at at
Yep. Yep.
totalpromotion.com and company.com, and then also to reach out to you by email and everything. So appreciate again your time today,
Yeah.
and
Thank you so much.
reach out to Brandon for anything that you need for the branding, for your apparels and stress balls,
Yeah.
yeah, anything like hats.
we do
So
we do brand consultation as well, meaning that depending on who your target market is, we try to help you come up with the best possible product. Because like when you go to a convention and you get all these free stuff, you go
yeah.
home and you stand next to the trash can and you're like, throw that away, throw that away. Oh, I'm going to keep that. You want to be in the keep that pile. In fact, you not only the keep that pile, you want to be on somebody's desk, so that they see your brand all the time, so that you're always top of mind. So if you're trying to, if you're trying to make the most of your investment in promotional products, you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of it by keeping yourself top of mind with the person that's receiving that gift or that item.
Oh wow, that's a whole science back to that then,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Basically like a whole thing.
yeah.
That's amazing.
So I saw across the hallway over here, there's an injury attorney.
Yeah.
If they were to come to me and say, "Hey, we want to get some stuff," uh, an example could be like uh, uh, in their car, you keep your registration and insurance wallet with your logo on it, so that if you're in a car wreck, there they are.
So when they're
So
open to give to
sure, yeah, that's just an example of like thinking because it would make no sense for an injury attorney to give somebody a stress ball. They're
yeah.
going to throw it away. You want something that they can use and put into their their vehicle, and not only use but use when they need it.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a very good,
So
that's marketing right there.
yeah, absolutely. And so you want to be very intentional with the products that you're providing, to that you're giving out, because you're throwing money away if you buy the wrong thing.
Wow, okay. Well, there you go. If you want any brand consulting and also to put um your brand on the product, reach out to Brandon. And again, thank you so much again today,
Yeah,
Brandon, for
yeah. Thank you
coming
so
out
much.
and having you on this podcast.
Sure.
Thank you again, and yeah, hopefully we can do another one next time.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll
Appreciate
be
you so
great.
much. Thank you so much.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.